What actually is a documentary? A documentary is a film, television, or radio program that provides a factual report on a particular subject. And there are 4 different types of documentary: expository, observational, participatory, and dramatic. An expository documentary consists of verbal commentary addressing the audience, directly overlaying B-roll to persuade the audience of a certain viewpoint. Ultimately, the director is presenting an argument to prove a point, and the process by which they're attempting to prove their point is what provides tension to keep the audience engaged. A participatory documentary is similar to an expository documentary. However, instead of a narrator giving a commentary, the filmmaker appears on the screen and addresses the audience directly, taking on the role of the host. Observational documentaries are the opposite of participatory documentaries. There's almost no intervention by the filmmaker, as the camera is there to simply observe what's going on. This then allows the audience to draw their own conclusions as to what is happening. Dramatic documentaries deal with actual historical events through various means, such as stock footage, archival footage, reenactments, and interviews with people related to or who were present at the event. The production process of making a documentary can be split into 3 main sections: pre-production, which is planning the documentary; shooting, which is actually filming the documentary; and post-production, which is everything after shooting, such as editing and sound design. The first part of pre-production is to research your chosen topic. Choose a topic that you're interested in, but make sure it hasn't been done multiple times before, or people won't be as interested in watching it. To get started with your research, you could choose questions to ask in interviews, write the script for a verbal commentary if you want one, and plan exactly what will be covered in the documentary. You also need to decide whether to write a script for your documentary. Having a script is good because it's more planned and specific, which can be good for making sure you get exactly what you want in the documentary. However, it isn't flexible, which makes it hard to change anything later on during filming. Alternatively, you could choose not to have a script and instead have a rough layout of what you want to include, which is more open to interpretation and makes it flexible and spontaneous. However, it does make your documentary less organised, which can waste time during shooting trying to decide what to do. Another thing to decide upon is having narration or not. Verbal narration tends to be most effective as it allows the audience to watch what's happening on screen and listen to the commentary at the same time. However, if you don't want to have a verbal narration, the 2 most important documents in pre-production are the storyboard and shot list. A storyboard is a detailed document which explains all the specifics of each individual shot. You can include as much or as little information as you like. This is an example of a layout. On the right hand side is the written information about the shot, and on the left is a visual plan of what the shot should look like. It's usually drawn by hand, but if you can't draw very well, you can use photography. Shot lists are less detailed than storyboards and briefly outline the information about all of the shots. iPhones can be used to shoot documentaries as they have a good quality of video and are very portable, making it easier to shoot footage on the go. You can find tripods made for iPhones, which can be used for still shots. However, iPhones do have balanced counterweight settings which reduce movement motion and give steadier shots. Sound is extremely important in documentaries because it's one of the main methods in which information is passed onto the audience. iPhones have a built-in microphone, but it's not very good quality. Apple earphones and headphones have microphones attached to them, which can increase the clarity of the audio, which is useful for interviews and voiceovers. Here is the camera setup which was used to shoot this documentary. An iPhone XR with a Beats headphones cable attached to it with an adapter, as iPhones don't have headphone jacks, but any smartphone with a decent camera can be used to record a documentary. One of the most important things to remember is to ensure that the phone has enough storage to record enough footage, and to bring a charger just in case it runs out of battery during shooting. Interviews are one of the most important aspects of documentaries as they allow the protagonists to tell their experiences directly to the audience and provide a strong sense of authenticity. They can sometimes be more effective than verbal narrations. While shooting an interview, there are a couple of factors that need to be taken into consideration. The first is wardrobe choices of the interviewee. Attire is very important in interviews as they contribute towards the tone of the documentary. Interviewees should be dressed in clothes that resemble their role. For example, a doctor should be wearing a lab coat. There are also a few things to avoid. If you're shooting against a light-coloured wall, don't wear black as it absorbs light and makes the wall appear brighter, which will darken the interviewee's face. Don't wear the same colours as the background or the interview will blend in and be hard to see. And don't wear stripes as they appear to shimmer on video. Secondly, you need to consider location. Location should be relatively plain, but not too dull and not too vibrant. Too dull will cause the interview to look boring, whilst too vibrant will draw attention away from what the interviewee is saying. It needs to be a balance. Another thing to avoid is shooting in front of windows because they create glare. The next thing to consider is framing. The camera should be directly in front of the subject and at eye level. There should be some headspace. The subject shouldn't look directly into the camera, they should look to the side slightly at the interviewer. Start with a medium shot. You can zoom in for a close-up intimate shot to make the audience connect more emotionally with the subject. You can also change the camera angle and distance during a long interview without B-roll to keep it engaging.
Alright, off you go.
We've also been working with United World College on a program sent to the Roundout weekly subscription vegetable box, citizen box, as a part of their extracurricular activity. Students are in charge of marketing and distributing the boxes. Through meetings with our team and with their teachers, they design a marketing campaign, creating newsletters and recipe websites to encourage sign-ups. Students also add vegetables they grow themselves at the rooftop garden to complement the offerings in the box. On our end, we are able to customize the subscription period to suit the school term and can offer delivery to your school. And consultation from our marketing and production teams if a similar student-led model is adopted. Alternatively, teachers and parents may also subscribe to an 8 or 12-week system box subscription. Free-run delivery by having the school as
Okay.
I really like McDonald's. I like to order the cheeseburger meal. I also get large fries and a large Coke. But sometimes I struggle to drink large Coke because it's a lot bigger than I always think it is. And then I remember, it's quite a big difference between Burger King and McDonald's. Because I remember when I got Burger King, the last time I got cheese fries. You know what I do? I put the fries in my burger. Actually, I think everybody does that. I put the fries in my burger, mostly because I like it more, but also I think it makes the burger last longer. I like to have extra ketchup. They don't put enough ketchup. I don't even know if they put ketchup on the burger. And then, you get takeaways from McDonald's, and they only give you chili packets. It's a sham. Utterly terrible. They only give you chili packets, and every time, sometimes I put notes. They give you like 10 chili packets for one burger.
In documentaries, the most important footage is the interviews, also known as A-roll, so B-roll is extra footage captured to enrich the story you're telling and to have greater flexibility when editing. Instead of featuring only talking heads on video, you want to have other images you can cut away to that will add dimension to your story. Getting enough coverage is essential so that you can have lots of options for when editing occurs. It's also good to have multiple takes just in case one isn't usable. It should be related to what the interviewee is talking about to help give people an idea. Photographs can also be used if there isn't enough B-roll, and if people mess up during an interview, B-roll can be used to hide the jump cut between a sequence. There are various different ways to shoot B-roll, including shot types, shot angles, and camera movements. Different shot types include extreme close-up shot, very close-up shot, medium close-up shot, medium shot, medium long shot, very long shot, extreme long shot. Different camera angles include straight on angle, canted angle, high angle, extreme high angle, low angle, extreme low angle. Types of camera movement include zoom, where the camera gets closer or further away from subject, tilt, where the camera moves up and down, and pan, where the camera moves left and right. Another thing to consider when shooting B-roll is the focus of the camera. A deep focus shot has a large depth of field where the audience can see further into the background, whereas a shallow focus incorporates a shallower depth of field and only allows the audience to see one plane of the scene. With a shallow depth of field, you can use racking focus to change which plane of the scene is in focus. Two other techniques to use when shooting B-roll include time-lapse and slow motion. Time-lapse film appears speeded up and thus lapsing, whereas slow motion is where the time appears to be slowed down. iPhones actually have a built-in time-lapse and slow motion function which allow you to film in the setting and not need to edit it in post-production. Sound is extremely important in documentaries. There are two types of sound, diegetic and non-diegetic. Diegetic sound is sound that is part of the film world, whereas non-diegetic sound is sound that is not part of the film world. Diegetic sound effects should be matched perfectly to the actions on screen, and voiceovers should be in perfect sync during interviews. If the interviews are in a different language, dubbing may be required. Non-diegetic music strongly sets the tone and mood of the documentary. Recording audio requires as much preparation as recording video. During interviews, ensure the subject doesn't move around too much, as it will create a swooshing sound. When shooting sound for B-roll, try not to move the mic around too much as well. Try to film interviews in quiet areas to reduce background noise. Narration should be recorded afterwards in a very quiet environment, as it needs to be top quality since it will be playing over the majority of the programme. The final part of the production process of a documentary is post-production, more specifically, editing. One of the easiest editing platforms to use is iMovie, which is free on Apple iMacs. Documentaries have a clear three-part structure composed of the beginning, middle and end. The beginning informs the audience of what the focus of the documentary is. The purpose of it is to hook them into watching the rest of the documentary and introduces the key themes, characters and potential problems included in the documentary. The middle consists of the bulk of information being delivered and the topic is explored. It needs to be engaging, as this is where the audience are most likely to get bored and tune out of the programme. Finally, the end is where the story is wrapped up. It answers the questions and resolves situations which have come up in the documentary. This can involve convincing the audience of a certain viewpoint, particularly if it's an expository documentary. Ultimately, it must sum up the content and satisfy the audience. If the documentary was shot according to a script, this script can be used as a plan to edit by, or the storyboard and shot list can provide some insight. If a script wasn't used, you'll need to string together the shots in a variety of ways to see which sequences work best. Another way to edit is by splitting certain concepts up into chapters to make it clear that separate themes within the overall topic are being addressed. A significant part of editing is choosing the right B-roll shots to accompany the interviews. It's important to go through all B-roll coverage and only include the best and most relevant footage. You don't have to use everything you recorded. Only use the interviews and footage that move the story along. Avoid repetition with audio and visuals and make sure the content is engaging. But most importantly, make sure the quality of your audio and visuals is good. Every documentary is unique, because every filmmaker has their own unique filming style. However, there are a few general style options which should be present in every documentary, mainly the layout of interviews. When showing an interviewee for the first time, their name and role should be added at the bottom of the screen in the form of a caption. When the person starts talking, it should either cut or dissolve to relevant B-roll, which can either be video or photos, and the scene should then cut back to the interviewee. If the interviewee is saying something important, cut to their face talking. Transitions are the way in which shots are connected. The simpler the transition, the better, as you don't want them to stick out and detract from the content of the documentary. That said, you can get away with more creative transitions when you're using a lot of photos. Here are some classic examples of transitions. Cut. One shot changes instantly to another with no crossover. Dissolve. One shot merges or fades into the next. Dip to black. Image goes quickly to a black screen and back again. Fade to black. The picture appears from a black screen. Slide. One shot moves over another, like one picture sliding over another. Wipe. One image is replaced with another image that moves across the screen. These transitions have a certain energy and are used to a specific purpose, such as to reveal something. Page peel. The first shot peels away to reveal the next. It gives the effect of turning a page. Title sequences can either be animated or simple text, depending on the nature of the documentary.
Okay, so we are going to put a bike lock around your hands, and you have a minute to find the code and get out of the lock and ask for clues.
A minute to find the code and get out of the lock.
Yeah.
Are there any clues for the code? Okay, can I ask any question?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Yes?
yes, there are.
Oh. What's the easiest way for me to get out of this lock?
To ask us for clues.
How do I find the clues for the lock?
You can ask us.
Oh, okay. So, can I have the number of the lock?
No.
No, okay. Presumably not like, what's the first digit? Can you tell me which direction to maybe move my right hand? So I have to think of questions to ask you.
No.
Are the numbers the same?
No.
Can I just have a go at moving it?
Yes.
Are they odd numbers?
No.
Yeah, I can keep trying. Are any of the numbers 0?
No.
Okay. Are any of the numbers 9?
Yes.
Is the first number 9?
Yes.
Oh, yes, good. Okay. Can't turn it. Fake nails are too long. Is the second number 9?
No.
Can I use my other hand when one's out?
No.
Is the third number 9?
No. If you'd like to, yes.
Is the fourth number 9?
Nope.
Okay, so I can just move it like this. Are any of the numbers 0 or 1?
No.
I'm out. Well done. Okay. Are any of the numbers 2 or 3?
No.
Are any of the numbers 4, 5 or 6?
No.
Any of the numbers 7 or 8?
Yes.
Is the second number 7?
No.
Is the second number 8?
No.
The second number 6?
No.
Second number 9?
No.
We did that. Second number 0?
No.
That's not a number. Not 2. Is there a number 1?
No. You can ask us other questions.
I know. What other questions would I think of? I'm confused by what I'm meant to do.
Good effort. But
Yeah, no.
Start talking, I can see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay, right. Let's see how this goes then.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, hello everybody and welcome to Year 12. If you're new to Tanglin, then a massive welcome to you because you've joined an absolutely fabulous school and a fabulous sixth form. And if you're not new to to Tanglin, then you know that already. My name is Mr. Roberts and I head up CAS. I have quite a varied role, but I suppose the most important thing is that I pop up every Christmas in the panto to be generally ridiculed and abused in the panto. This is going to be brief because I don't want to bore you, but what I'm going to say is very, very important. I would normally, when we open CAS, I would do the whole induction for about 4 or 5 weeks, but unfortunately COVID has scuppered us again. So we're going to do it this way and I'm going to do a brief introduction. CAS stands for Creativity, Action and Service, and this is what I want you to remember this afternoon, it is brilliant. We really believe in the value of it, we think it's unique and we think it's something that gives you a fantastic experience if you commit to it, and I'm sure all of you will. I think in the world that we live in today, it's becoming more and more important that we develop people that are valuable and see the world in a positive light and do something to make it a better place. I genuinely believe that, and I would love you to take that sentiment away as well too. In CAS, we encourage you to take on projects and learn about yourself. We want you to get really, really heavily involved in it. And you will find out today in the lesson that you're going to have just how important it is. You have CAS every Wednesday afternoon, and you will commit to a number of projects over the next 18 months. And again, the watchword, please, 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 please be enthusiastic. If you're not sure about anything, hang on a second, my mask has slipped. If you're not sure about anything, then just ask your CAS teacher. They will give you all the information you need, and over the next few weeks, even if you haven't got a clue what CAS is, you'll be very clear by the end of it. Finally, we do really encourage you to take risks, and this video is probably going to be a typical example of that. There is a lady in front of me holding a camera now that is part of CAS TV who are just 3 individuals that produced the most amazing films, and they said, can we do this the way we want to do it, please? So I have no idea what they're going to do with it, so I look forward to watching it as much as you do. Finally, again, to repeat, welcome to Tanglen, welcome to Cass, make the most of it, enjoy it, and please be enthusiastic about everything you do. Thank you.
Credits should also match the documentary and can either be static or scrolling. They should be big and clear enough so that the audience can see them easily.